Welcome back to the channel as we continue our HM long travel build on my Gen 1 Raptor. We started off the build by taking everything off the truck. Then HM stripped the front suspension, cut off the shock bucket, and started the frame reinforcement. Next, the new shock towers were installed and they blew us away. And then in the last video, we were cleaning out our old parts so that we can actually help fund the next phase of this build. Now in this video, the front suspension finally comes together. Hey guys, how do we keep it dirty off-road? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's one of the best ways you can help us and keep this channel growing and do stuff like this. Now, full disclosure, this video is not sponsored, but we did get a discount on parts from HM. We did pay full price for labor because we wanted to make sure we support Kevin at HM. All right, guys, as you guys saw in the previous HM video, my truck is getting a new kit from HM. So new, Kevin was still putting the final touches on the design in the previous video. This also meant that they had to just start building the new arms for the truck. They weren't pre-built before we went in. And they were actually gonna do 2 sets because there's a Gen 2 Raptor after mine that's gonna get the same kit on John Kilbourne's truck from Dirt Days. So when you guys do this, you guys bend this over and then weld it?
Yeah, we'll bend it back. We chop it down and tack it as we go.
Is this the start of the uppers?
Yep.
Now, I've been a huge fan of Kevin's designs for a very long time. You can clearly see all the reinforcement and strength that he puts into his arm designs. While the arms are getting built, they were also working on the shock tower braces across the engine. This is an absolute requirement for long travel because of the extra stress it places on the frame. Kevin's kit is unique in that it's the only true long travel kit on the market that does not require an engine cage due to how he designs the tower brace to go over the engine. So it makes it a little bit more affordable. By the end of the next day, they were building the upper arms and the shock mounts.
Is this the arm? That's your upper arm, yeah.
Holy shit. Beautiful welds, man.
Yeah.
What's gonna set this kit apart is that it's getting larger shocks. Typically, HM's kits run 2.5 coilovers backed up by a 4.0 bypass, depending on the kit that you get. Some may have 3.5 bypasses. The new kit design is getting 3.0 coilovers with a 4.0 bypass squeezed into that tiny little space in the middle of the arms. And those 2 shocks combined are huge. And here the HM crew was doing the first mock-up of that suspension to see how everything fit.
I mean, you see it how dramatically different the bottom of the shocks are.
Yeah, dude.
Usually they're the same.
They're huge. It's fucking massive, man.
Put down, it's just gonna scrub. Definitely have to pocket it up. What's that? Pocket it like the other ones. Well, if that's as low as it gets. Yeah.
Now, again, guys, those are massive shocks to have to be side by side in such a small space. And I mean, just look at the size of the hoses for the bypass. Dude, is that full tuck right there? The fenders I have now are definitely not gonna work.
No. You're gonna blow them right up.
Yes. Well, self-trimmed.
Yeah, sure.
Where's the HM logo on the arm?
We haven't put it on yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, this was the first time everything was mocked up, so they had to measure the travel.
35. It's just the lines in the way.
5.5.
35 3/4.
So at the top, she's 35 3/4 inches, 35.75.
Right there. That's a gap right there.
18 3/4.
What was the first 32?
35.
35?
It'll be like 35. What was it, a quarter? She'll be like 35 and a half by the time.
It was 35.5. So it's probably gonna be like 35 3/4.
Yeah, actually, you have more to go. Huh?
Mine is 18.
18.35, 18.75.
17 inches exactly. That's without pocketing.
Yeah, so we'll pocket it so we can do it.
Should we see if the axle can go farther first? You said the axles are limit, right?
Yep. I don't
That's
think
going to be pretty close. That's a pretty good droop right there. The biggest thing too is because we're going to be limited on this side. We need the little sled on top.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell us.
17 inches. Holy shit, dude. A little bit more than you were planning.
I was thinking I would get it.
17 inches of travel with four-wheel drive. And they could get more if they pocketed the upper arms to clear the shocks a little bit better. Future kits will also get the tubes relocated on the shocks for better clearance for those two-wheel drive kits that want more travel. But for us, we have to have four-wheel drive, so our main limiting factor is the CV axles, and at 17 inches, they are just at their limit. We'll show you guys those boots later in this video at full droop, fully assembled. Now, I know some of you guys are gonna ask, why put the shocks side by side like that? Why would that make a difference? Well, having the shocks side by side is important to get the best performance from the suspension. The shocks will move up and down together at the same angle with the arms to avoid any binding. Typically, a lot of other builders take the easy way out of here and pick a simpler fabrication method and installation by putting the bypass shock outside the arm. It's just much easier, you don't have to modify the shock bucket, and it's a much simpler install and it's more cost effective. But moving the bypass out on the outside has some inherent drawbacks. And on most kits that have the bypass on the outside, the bypass is actually at a slightly different angle to the coilover, and the load is not properly spread out on the arm. It's off to the side of the arm. That can cause some issues with bumps here and so on. Here, they're both on the same point, at the same arm, sharing the load together and improving the performance and control of the truck substantially. So I am so stoked to have this kit on my truck because of its design and the inherent performance improvements I'm gonna get. Now, before some of you keyboard warriors freak out, the bump stops are there to protect the shocks. They're not bottomed out. If you look closely, the bumps are set up to stop the arms at about 1/4 inch before they hit bottom, and that's without the strike plate. Once they put the strike plate in place that you don't see in this pic, it'll actually be a little bit more. And there will be limiting straps as well to keep the droop from going too much because this is a four-wheel drive truck. The CV axles have to function. And best of all, this kit takes the same proven geometry and design from previous HM kits, but with bigger shocks to take advantage of more coil spring options that come with 3.0 shocks. Now, the next day I came in to find that the shock towers and the shock mounts were fully welded in and the frame plating and the towers were painted. That's all painted and everything now too?
Yeah, everything but this top one welded in right now.
The team was also working on finishing the shock tower braces over the engine. The arms and spindles were also getting painted. I elected to have the arms just painted with Steelite. And there are two reasons why I elected paint over powder. First of all is speed. Powder can take weeks just for black and even longer if you do a custom color. And two is ease of maintenance. If the arms and spindles and everything will always be in harm's way all the time, and I like the idea of being able to easily touch them up. And the color itself is charcoal so that the arms can stand out a little bit. They look perfect, but damn guys, $36 is steep for a can of paint. HM uses custom dual rate coils for the coilovers up front, and they had just showed up. Now, I don't know what the lengths and rates are for these. This is part of the HM secret sauce. As I was looking at the suspension, I noticed that my headers had a flat spot to avoid hitting the frame. I firmly believe that you learn something new all the time, and I did here. So Eddie educated me a little bit. It looks like it's self-cleared, right?
Maybe, unless they did it that way. I don't know if it's self-clearance. It looked like it was like.
You think so?
Whose are these?
I forget the brand. It's a standard brand everybody uses. I think it's the brand.
Stainless steel work?
Yeah. But like Eddie was educating me, I had no idea that the engine is offset to one side. It's more to the passenger side.
Yeah, everything's awesome.
Which that was kind of interesting. You could clearly see it over here.
They have to go steering.
So it's all for the steering?
Yeah, it's all for the steering.
Yeah, because you could see it. Your cage is perfectly square, but the engine favors the passenger side.
Lines the drive shaft.
Really?
It does do that too.
That's interesting.
Yeah, they have to have a steering shaft coming down, so they have to have room.
I never noticed that, dude. You learn something new every day.
Been that way every truck.
Really? I've never knew. I've always assumed the engine would have to be like perfectly centered. Had no clue that it was offset.
Not a race truck there.
That is cool. Oh, that okay. I can see it. It also makes room for the bottom pumpkin, huh? By the next day, once the paint had dried, the suspension was ready for assembly. Hubs were installed on the spindles, coils installed on the shocks, and the suspension was mocked up with the CV axles in place. Those are stock Gen 2 axle ends with an extended HM shaft. We tried to get our CVs in, well, watch the last video for the story. Not worth repeating. Yeah, too much BS. Now here's also where I got to see that attention to detail that Kevin is known for on his suspension. Look closely at how those brake lines are ran. On most kits, shops just run lines to the stock locations, and many times they're mounted kind of flimsy, at least they were on mine. HM adds hard lines to get the lines to the same location on both sides and then affixes those lines to a hard mount that's part of the tower. This is huge to me because, like I said, my last kit's lines were kind of just zip tied and clamped into place. They moved around a lot and they would also wear out and pinch on the upper arms. At least the flexible lines did, the stainless steel lines did. So here everything is relocated, secured, and put on fixed mounts and round out of the way, out of harm's way, which is a very impressive setup to me and great attention to detail that I have not seen from other shops. The tire braces of the engine were also completed and they were painted as well, steeled just like everything else. And now we had to pick a brake line color. Now, due to the color of the shocks, I had lines made in both green and braided stainless steel, the raw steel. I could not afford to actually get the shocks that come, with a custom color from King because it was just too expensive. And initially, I wanted to stay green on the lines to match my calipers. I think for now, we'll just stay green just so it matches all the calipers and stuff. You go from there. But the gray ones are in the box too, so if we don't use them, just leave them there.
You want my 2 cents?
Yeah.
I would just leave the caliper green and go gray. So the caliper can be different colors to accent the color you have, because then the green will pick up the green.
Let me get the other one. They're in the back right now, so. Yeah, I think you're right, dude. It's going to look so much better with the gray.
Mm-hmm. They'll just look clean, and then the accent colors are going to be your caliper, I think it looks clean.
All right, let's do gray.
Okay, perfect.
And honestly, Kevin was right here, and I'm glad I had both to mock them up and really see it, because the green was too much. Stainless steel is better with the caliper having a little bit of pop of color to the wheel. Now, during this trip, HM had also gotten the reservoirs mounted and installed, and we were in the process of painting them. They also had the limit strap installed and set, and man, this was looking amazing. But now we had a problem. We needed to make room for the up travel, and the lower core supports had to go. You guys are trying to cut them off, but they're fighting you, huh?
No, it's like Ford didn't want you to rip this trail.
I wonder why. It's all crash safety stuff.
Yeah.
Now, fun fact here, these lower core supports are not really structural. They don't connect to anything really, and were actually removed in the Gen 2 Raptor design, as we saw later here on John's Gen 2 a few weeks after mine was in the shop. Now, by the next day, they had the lower supports completely out in the cab patch. They were also in the process of getting the front suspension assembled.
It just needs to have the bolt like not touching.
Yeah, me neither, dude. Let me see that done. This was the bolt for the limiting straps. Now I'm gonna have to have special sockets just to work on my truck.
Yes, sir.
I got cheap Chinese ones, man. I was really waiting for was to see the brakes on the truck. I've been saving this wild wheel kit for over a year because it didn't work with my line suspension kit. It required spacers, and the spacers they provided weren't the right spacing, and it was a whole thing that they didn't work right, and I had to save it. HM's kit can support these natively, and I wanted to see them on the truck and confirm for myself. This was a big deal because it just didn't work, and it was such a big heartache. Months of testing, and it just didn't work.
Look at that, it drops right in.
And see how the
The rotor's not all the way on yet.
I know, but do you see how it's still kind of centered though, right? On the kit, I was all the way to one side.
Side.
Dude, you're doing that by hand.
Yep.
That's badass.
Damn, it looks so good. And guys, look at the brake lines. Everything is out of harm's way, not even a chance anything will get pinched. The suspension is just a total work of art.
So I noticed that your pivots are at an angle, right? So that they sit level when it's...
Yeah, well, it's articulation.
Yeah.
Now, we need to address a couple of things up front because there is a lot left to do. For example, the advanced fender liners won't work. The kit is getting more up travel, and I'm going to need custom liners to protect the cabling.
It's gonna be tight in there, man. Holy sh**. And then this gonna be tighter up there, right? Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bend this up so that way it'll sit on the tab. We're gonna have a little 1/4 inch bolt right here that holds it.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah, so I just gotta bend this up a little bit more and trim it.
It's a cool little piece, dude.
Yeah, I try to keep all your wiring safe.
That's very much appreciated.
Even if you go in the Mexico mud, hopefully you don't kill your harness.
So does Kevin still want to keep the air box, or does he want to do his own?
I think
own
we're
little
keeping
box?
that. I don't know how we're gonna mount it. We might do like a little table or something that grabs the bottom.
Yeah, keep it.
Yeah,
keep
because it has
easy.
the factory top mounts, so it's still pretty solid.
The only worry is if it moves, this is gonna wear away at it eventually.
Well, I'm gonna trim it. It's not gonna be touching it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
still have to trim that.
Or maybe whatever you guys put, you can even have it go across. I don't know. Whatever works.
Maybe.
Or figure out it might be easier to have it come off the top, depending on how it mounts.
Well,
Right?
factory uses these two nipples that are down here.
Uh-huh.
Like it just sticks in a rubber
Because
grommet.
this is all the clips on this are broken anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter if you f that up. Honestly,
Yeah, they are.
they're all broken. So
I
it
saw
doesn't.
your top mounted pretty good though. Still.
The only thing that holds this in place is the hood. Right? That little bit right there is the only thing that holds it in place. So I don't care how you guys
You still
hold it.
got all these latches. These all went in great. Like everything's still went in nice.
Yeah, but
Not
it's supposed to go all the way down there, right?
I don't think so.
It's supposed to have them all the way around, so it's all
Oh,
broken.
like there's more clips on
Yeah,
there, huh?
yeah.
Because it only has the front.
Oh, how is the sensor gonna come down, dude? Because with this, isn't it gonna make it that much tighter coming down? This sensor?
It goes around the back.
Oh,
See that
shit.
hole right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the sensor is. It just kept getting in my way, fitting it, so I'm like, I'm pulling it.
Oh, how did you guys do that?
What do you mean?
Like, is it gonna be able to reach the harness location? Because that's the one thing. It has to be separated out from the harness, but
Yeah, your plug is right here.
sweet. Okay,
So it fits down literally right in that hole. Perfect.
dude,
This is
awesome.
droop, so it's never gonna get longer than this.
Man, there's still so much I gotta do to this after you guys are done with it.
I know now you're like, oh, I gotta make it nice.
Yeah, I gotta clean the engine now, babe. And then
It's like my car, dude. I've been to Arizona so much, it looks like a pre-runner in there. I feel so bad.
So this video series is far from being done. There is still rear suspension, a new bed rack that's coming up in the next video, and a ton of little things to make her drivable. But I'm so stoked to have this suspension set up on my truck. I've dreamed about this kit for years. I've been working hard and saving for a long time to get it, and it's coming out awesome. and getting me one step closer to building that dream Raptor build for me. Now, if you guys want to get this kit, make sure you contact Kevin at HM. We're going to put his contact details below. You can call him, you can text him, you can email him for a quote on this kit. Now, this is a brand new kit with the bigger shock, so it will be a bit more expensive and have a slightly longer lead time because it's still in development. It won't be made for other trucks until John's Gen 2 and my Gen 1 Raptor is done with testing and tuning here in the next few months. Now, for those that want a quick build from HM, which is pretty rare, he currently has 3 95 kits with the 4.0 bypass and the 2.0 coilovers. Same kit as mine, except it's using the smaller shocks. The configurations are ready to go with a quick turnaround in the shop. You mainly just need to wait for shocks. And I'm told King has a set of shocks for Kevin ready to go for this 95 kit. So you could be in the shop quick if you book today, which is rare for a small shop like this because John and I had to wait almost a year to get in with this new custom kit. So if you guys are interested, contact Kevin and he'll get you a quote and purchase the in-stock kits, which is again rare for HM to have a kit in stock, and get a quick turnaround and let them know we sent you guys so that they can continue helping us with this build. Again, guys, just a reminder, HM is a small shop. They can take up to a year to get in, and since these kits are done, you can get in much quicker. So jump on this killer setup, guys. There's only 3 available right now. All right, guys, that's it for this video. On the next video, we're gonna cover all the updates to the rear suspension, the new custom chase track, and I will be saying goodbye to the Marty McFly look on the truck. So please consider subscribing, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, follow, interact with this video. Let us know what you think of this suspension. Follow us on Instagram if you wanna get on the latest updates, because as you can see, the truck's already home. So we've already gone through a lot of stuff and we're about to hit trails. So make sure you guys follow us around. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.